Good afternoon, Dr. Candace. How are you?
Am amazing. Good afternoon, Dr. T, and to the audience as well. Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening. Girl,
Yes.
we don't know where
And
people watch from.
I know that's right. Well, we want to welcome y'all to a Mental Health Minute with Dr. Candace Elaine and Dr. Tyra. Good day, everyone. So, how's
Hello.
everything going out there in California?
It is good. The weather is beautiful today. It's going good. It really is. Like I said, the weather is beautiful. I'm feeling good. For the last couple of days, I wasn't feeling good. Everybody, Dr. T, know this. I had my second shot, so it had me under the weather. But I'm back.
Hmm.
So I'm halfway back. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at a beautiful 6. I'm at a
Oh, all right.
very good 6. I'm at a good 6. Hopefully by the end of the week. Well, this is the end of
Mhm.
the week. This is Friday. Oh my God. Hopefully by
It's
Sunday I have
Friday.
an amazing 10. But I'm at a beautiful 6 right now, so I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm feeling good. And today, I guess on this Friday in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, we're preparing for a nor'easter that's supposed to allegedly start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm feeling about an 8 today. I'm saying between a 7 and an 8 today, which
Good.
is pretty good.
That
Not too bad. I went ripping and running all morning, picking up stuff, making sure I had everything, which I didn't really need anything because I had everything I needed in this house. So,
good.
but
That
other than that, that was about it.
so when you say about the weather out there, are you expecting a lot of snow or a lot of rain?
A lot of snow. So we're having a snowstorm,
Oh wow.
allegedly. They told us the snow was starting at 7 p.m., but believe it or not, it's been snowing all day. It snowed at started snowing at like I guess about 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning, but it wasn't sticking, and so it was still pretty warm 31 degrees. And so
Oh,
it didn't stick.
good.
So we was able to still rip and run, drive around, do what we need to do. But now it's starting to, I don't know. I haven't looked outside to see what was going on out there this evening, but it is what it is.
A good 31. Okay, well, at least you
A
snuck
good
in
31.
more. Well, I don't even want to tell you because you know we friends. Girl, I want to tell you the temperature out here, everybody.
Well, you can tell me because I've been talking to people in Florida all day and they've been telling me what's going
71,
on.
75. It's really
I could,
good.
oh my God, I would love that right now.
Yes, yes, it's really good. It's the temperature is really good out here. But I still was under the weather yesterday. I did not feel it. But
Yeah.
I'm back and I'm good. So I'm glad everything is good. I hope the audience doing well as well. It's Friday, so we can start over. Everybody can relax. Just relax your shoulders and relax your mind and get ready for our
Mhm.
amazing show today. So I gotta ask Dr. T because Dr. T, I call her T for many reasons. One, her first name started with a T, and she's my beautiful, amazing Dr. T. So I'm always T this, T that. But then, ladies and gentlemen, she always got the T. So let's go into the hot topic. Dr. T, tell me about the T.
Let me tell you. So, for the hot topic, to stay with our topic for the day, which our topic today is dating and mental health, right? But this topic was really interesting. The other day, Ricky Smiley Morning Show had posted on Instagram about airing. The question was, what's your opinion on airing out your ex on social media? So what they did was someone recently spoke with Ricky Smiley's morning show, I believe, recently spoke to Shaq about issues that Kanye and Kim were having. And it was interesting listening to his take on that, And one thing that he said is he was saying it's not about having issues, and I quote, it's just I run my life on the PPL principles. And what Shaq's PPL principles are you protect, you provide, and you love. And he said, unquote, he said, even if he is fighting with his exes, right? Nobody ever bashes one another. We still keep it respectful, do what we got to do to maintain, a healthy environment for their families. And so, when I think about that, I'm like, I number one, I love Shaq. Okay, so he could do no
As do
wrong.
I.
And so with him saying that statement alone, that is something that really, spoke to me in regards to protect, provide, and love. Because at the end of the day, when we get into relationships with people, You got to really sit back and think about, why are you with that person? And when you're with that person, why would you want to hurt them? Even after the relationship is over. Now, I'm not gonna say we ain't got some people that we be like, you know what?
I
Let
was
me
getting
tell
ready
you
to
one
say,
MFing thing, boom, and you be like, girl, watch him, boy, watch it, telling everybody, watch your back. We do have those moments, but at the end of the day, you know, should we be that resentful of somebody? Because at
yes,
the end of the day, you dated them for a reason, or you married them for a reason, right?
absolutely.
It was out of love. So, what is your take on that, Dr.
My
Candace?
take on that, I totally agree with Shaq. I love that. It's called protect, provide, and love. That's what you said.
Hmm.
I love it. However, I totally agree. You don't want to, especially grown folks. You know, I'm big on the grown folks thing. When you get to a
Hmm.
certain age, your energy has to change. You have to shift your thinking, shift your
Yes.
energy, shift how you
Hmm.
start to move in life. You have to.
Yes.
When we're younger, I remember being 19, 20, almost 25, girl. 19, 20, 21, 25. I'm like, I know he lying. I'm breaking out the windows. I'm going over there. No, you didn't. You're doing drive-bys. You're knocking on the door. You're seeing it. That's when you're younger. You're young, so you're doing that. Immature stuff. That's when you're young. But grown folks,
Right.
you grow and the relationship has ended, even if it's some bitterness, you want to
Hmm.
end on a smooth note.
Hmm.
What everybody mama then said. You ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Let it go. Don't bash them.
Hmm.
Plus, it's a red
Hmm.
flag for your new partner. Just like I wouldn't want to date a man,
Hello.
and I'm sitting across the table, and I say, you know how when you're on a date, you ask about the
Hmm.
ex. Like, so what happened
Hmm.
with you and your ex? Especially when they say they're single, and they're bashing their ex. That's a red flag for me.
Right.
It's like, no, I don't want you. Because if you're gonna do me
Hmm.
like that, do her like that, you're gonna do me. So that's a red
Right.
flag. So I believe
Hmm.
when with grown folks, you gotta move different. So I agree
Hmm.
with Shaq. We shouldn't bash our exes.
Right.
And they are
Hmm.
exes for a reason. And like
Right.
you said, Dr. G, it's some exes that we have out there where we like, now I know, because I know I got some exes out there I know damn well. I shouldn't have been, yet we all do.
Hmm.
And we all want to say,
Right.
girl, let me tell you what happened. Of course. But
Hmm.
then it leaves a nasty taste in your mouth and for
Right.
the other person that you're dating. So I
Right.
agree with Jack. When we get a
Hmm.
certain age, we got to
Hmm.
stop that, especially if you
Right.
are sharing children. They
Yes.
him and his ex got
Hmm.
what, 5, 6, 7 kids? I don't know. They got
5. Yeah.
children?
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to bash your baby's mother. And just like you don't want to bash
Mm-mm.
your baby's father, even though we hear a lot of that, like, girl, he don't pay child support, he don't do this, he don't do that. I get it. But when
Hmm.
you get a certain age, we gotta let that be
Hmm.
and we gotta move different. We gotta move
Right.
different. You can keep,
Hmm.
because if you still have those feelings, I'm not saying
Hmm.
don't embrace how you feel, but you gotta watch
Right.
what you say because the kids don't need to hear it. You got to watch it. But
Hello.
that's all I'm saying. You keep
Hmm.
your feelings. You can be in your feelings, but we got to
Hmm.
watch how we move. That's what I'm saying. Yes. Do
I
you
Yeah,
get what
I
I'm saying?
agree. I agree 100%. Because the thing is, later on, that does come back. And as therapists, and if you work with children, you see it where it does come back, where they're constantly like, well, you said, and he said, and she said, and then you look up and it's just like a whole bunch of he say, she say. And and the other person is just like, well, why'd you say all those things about me?
Absolutely. That's right.
And it's so funny because stuff like that comes up. Like, I think about people who have jobs where they work around children, right? And they have issues in their relationship, bad relationships. They see the issues, right? And the children, if they come to work with those issues, right, the children are hearing and watching and seeing this stuff, right? So of course, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to bring it to school and tell it or act it out. I remember this little girl. This was about a year ago. I was working at a daycare, and this little girl came in, and she she was playing with the dolls, of course, and she started acting out. You're supposed to play fair. You're not supposed to treat me like this. I'm a good woman.
Oh,
And I'm like, honey, you 3.
she heard that from
She was
someone.
a highly intelligent 3-year-old.
Mhm.
So you can only imagine. It was like, Baby, where you get that from?
All right, she picked that up from somewhere. She didn't heard mama, auntie, cousin, babysitter, somebody say, "I'm a good woman." What you doing?
Right.
She
And the
learned
other
that.
little kids looking at her like, you a girl. I'm just
I'm done. I'm done. I hear you. Yeah, exactly. So the kids like, what? Yeah, those kids was
they
yeah,
was not feeling that. They were not feeling that talking conversation.
exactly.
Trust.
And you are absolutely right. Kids will mimic what we do and also how
Mhm.
we feel. If you're speaking
Right.
toxic or some type of derogatory whatever statements
Mhm.
about your ex and you share
Mhm.
children with them, the kids
Mhm.
start to paint that picture as well. They start to
Yes.
have that picture about
Mhm.
their father or mother.
Right.
So we have to watch
Mhm.
that. So I'm with Jack. Hey,
Mhm.
just don't do what you need to do and,
Mhm.
be cordial because you can be cordial. Like I said, you could be in your feelings, ladies,
Yeah.
feelings, embrace how you feel. I'm a therapist. I believe in embracing how you feel.
Yep.
However, we got to watch what we do and watch what we say,
Mhm.
especially when children
Mhm.
are involved. And then more so for yourself because it
Right.
can you don't want to taint your heart. You don't want to do that.
Mhm.
Forgiveness is for
Right.
self. So at one
Mhm.
point you do have to learn to forgive because it's for self. It ain't even for them because you can forgive somebody and girl they ain't even
Mhm.
know it. They,
Exactly. Exactly. You can forgive them. You just don't have to forget.
that's right, and you don't have to deal with
You
them.
don't have to forget what happened. Just remove yourself from the situation so you don't
Absolutely,
allow it to happen to you again.
absolutely. That's right.
Because you see that happening a lot where people be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get back with so and so." Well, the bottom line is, why did you leave the first time?
Right.
People will show you they changed, but at the end of the day, is the change is temporary.
Hmm.
And that's what
That's
people need to understand. That change happens, but the change happens temporary. It's nothing going to say that it's going to stay there. So the same behaviors you left for the first time, don't think they're not going to come back and resurface back up, because they will.
they
They will
will.
come right back and
Absolutely.
smack you right in your face.
That is
But it's up
absolutely
to you on whether you decide that you want to go back to that. So I do commend him, and I wish Shawnee well because I know she's getting married again and
I
everything. And
know.
so,
I heard that. I
yeah,
will now.
yeah. So I wish them well, and I love the way they're handling things.
Yes.
And maybe a lot of people need to learn from them.
Exactly. Speaking of that,
Hmm.
let's we
Hmm.
because this goes right into the topic as well. And I learned this.
Hmm.
Remember what I said, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. T always got the tea. She told me this as well because I'm always late coming in on stuff with the hot topics. Um, Kanye and his wife.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
the
you
other week
think they're maneuvering that way now? I don't know. Are they talking? Are they speaking bad about one another?
I guess at some point they was, and it was like a lot of their information was aired out because of the whole child's birthday party the
Yes,
other
I
week.
heard about that.
Yeah, and that was something that was horrible. If they did in fact do this, that was horrible. Like, regardless of your relationship that you have with your ex, right? You invite both parents to the party. Now, if he wants to have his own party for that kid, that's fine too. But at least let that be known. You know what I mean? Let that be told. The information that was put out there, because I think he actually did a whole video, because I watched the whole video that he did or
Okay.
whatever, with his being very upset, which any parent that actually takes care of their children, and I'm gonna put it out there, I know some people are like, that's not right, but at the end of the day, a parent who's taking care of their children, that is there for them, talks to them, they will want to be there for every memorable moment that they had
Absolutely.
in their life. Even birthdays are included. They don't want to be just graduation birthday parents. They want to be active in these kids' life every day. And I don't think, if you're having something going on, then I don't believe that you should take that from the other parent. Let them do what they do. Now, if they got some other stuff going on that deems them as causing harm, then that's something else. You know
Yes.
what I mean? and you have all kinds of restraints and warrants and whatever you got to get this person away, that's one thing. But if none of that is actually happening, then let the other parent attend the party,
I agree.
whatever event that's going on. Let that child be the judge of whether they want to be interact with their parents.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you. And I'm glad that you put that spin on it at the end of the convo. I like that when you said if nothing is going on where the child is not being
Hmm.
heard and there is no,
Hmm.
how to be toxic. It can be really
Hmm.
bad. You and I've been in this business a long time where
Hmm.
abuse and different things come into place where
Hmm.
it's like, now, that ain't in your vegetation. You can't be around the kids. That's one
Hmm.
thing. But if it's a good parent and it's just maybe toxicity within the parent and they had some
Hmm.
words, or
Hmm.
whatever they have going on, I think
Hmm.
the parent, you know,
Right.
mom,
Hmm.
dad should be invited. If there is two parties, that's fine. Let it be two parties. It could be four, five parties. That's
Okay.
okay.
Right.
Let, but keep it
Hmm.
cordial because children see this, they remember this, and you don't want to be
Yep.
planting negative seeds for the other parent.
Hmm.
You don't
Right.
want to do that.
Hmm.
So whatever
Correct.
happens, because I don't know what happened. It's between Kim and Kanye. I just
Hmm.
know, on my opinion, if they could be cordial for the children, both children
Hmm.
should be there. If Kanye is going to
That's
have a
right.
party, please invite Kim. Invite
Hmm.
her. Now,
Yes.
what's your take when inviting the significant other? Now, I got to stand on that. Now, you can invite the mama. She ain't invited if she just a girlfriend. If it's the new wife and it's cordial, yes. But if she's
Hmm.
just a girlfriend of somebody you date, leave her where she at. You can come on to the party.
um, I guess if it's I mean, like if it's a random person that's not gonna be in the person's life,
There you go.
then I would say no. But if it's a situation where I don't know. If it's a situation where it's just somebody that you just hooked up with, then I would say, use discretion. If you don't look like this person is going to be long term, don't use our family event as a outing.
There
Because
you go.
people
Yes, I love that. Absolutely.
don't use
Don't
us
use
as an outing.
party as an outing.
Hmm.
Especially if this some chick or some dude that you're just dating and y'all
Right.
just, and it's been a couple of weeks, maybe 2 months. But if it's longevity and you like, we in
Hmm.
this for the long run and Candace, I'm gonna end up marrying her. This is it. Oh, okay,
But
let her
like
come.
I know I
I
had that
want
kind
to
of situation though, and
Yeah,
and we was together for 7 years, but and we didn't get married. But however the case may be, you
yes.
know,
That's
but
different.
that
That's a
stemmed
long
from,
time.
but you know what? It stemmed from other situations that had happened
Okay.
that, that I wasn't involved in. It was nothing that had nothing to do with me, but it was just, I might have been somewhere when a situation may have arose.
Okay,
And
God.
so it was just like, good Lord, you know what I mean? And so it was like, yo, you got to ride shotgun. And it's like, all right, let's roll, one of those type of situations.
Yes, I get it. I
You
totally get it. That's why I
it's
said
so it's so
if it's
something like that. That's a whole nother,
that's a
whole nother take.
topic, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
That's a whole other topic. Yes, I love it. I love it. So our main topic, it got a lot to do with that as well, with
Hmm.
the inviting who and how you treat who and your exes.
Hmm.
It is
Hmm.
mental health and dating, or mental health and marriage, just mental health and inviting people, sharing your life with people and mental health.
Hmm.
So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, our amazing topic today is mental health and dating. So, I'm asking Dr. T and I'm asking the audience as well. Should we normalize when we first start dating or dating someone and inviting other characters into our beautiful script? Our story that we call life. We want to invite
Hmm.
other characters in it. Should we
Hmm.
normalize talking about mental health? What's your opinion?
I think this day and age we kind of should. I think we should, because people really should know who they're dating and who they're dating. A lot of people, put a mask over mental health because of the negative connotations that has always been out there because of mental health. When people hear mental health, they run away and all of that, instead of sitting back and listening and understanding what's going on, with the individual. People have everybody goes through something, right? It's it's basically how you handle it, whether you're going to therapy, whether you are going out and, whether you're going to therapy or whether you're taking medications, how you handle the situation, because everybody handles situations different. You know, what is
I
your take, Dr. Candace?
definitely agree with you. For me, I absolutely think that we should normalize that question into our dating. I think we should it because in my professional and in my personal. So in my personal opinion, absolutely. My professional opinion, absolutely. And I have been doing this for many years. So I have saw on in my professional life that a lot of people, some of my clients, are out dating and doing different things, and they didn't ask and they didn't bring the question up, and then they come to me and they say, you know what, Dr. C, I think I should have, because now I'm in something and I don't know how to handle it, or I'm in something and I wasn't ready for this. So those questions should have been asked. And Dr. T was right. Mental health, we have to break that stigma where when you do hear the word mental health, which we are trying to bring to everyone. Everyone has mental health. Not everyone has a mental illness. There is a difference. You got mental health and you got mental illness. Everyone has mental health, just like everyone has physical health. Not everyone has mental illness. So we should bring the topic into the conversations when we are dating someone. So I agree with that. My next question, Dr. T, and to the audience as well, please join in. When is it an appropriate time to bring that up? When you're dating. You bring it up the first date, the 10th date, the third date, when you then went to third base. When should we bring this up?
I think you have to use your discretion when it comes to bringing it up, because everybody is different and you got to look at the person that you're dating, you know what I mean? Because sometimes people you might be like, "Ooh, I feel like I could tell them everything." And then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh shit, why did I even tell them?" You know? Because people, become judgmental. That's like the number one thing that happens in all relationship. People become so judgmental to the point it's like, oh God. My thing is, the sooner you know things, the better you know whether this is something that you can handle. Okay, because sometimes we out there, we want to be Superman and Superwoman and I can handle it all, and in the end you can't handle it. You can't handle it. You stuck on stupid, sitting up there looking like, well, I thought I could, but you
Absolutely.
couldn't.
Hmm.
What is your thoughts on that, Dr. Candace?
And my thoughts on when should we incorporate that conversation is in the beginning. You're absolutely right. The sooner the better for me. Yes, use discretion. However, the sooner the better. If me personally, I'm telling the first date. I'm asking the first date. And it's how you do it. It ain't necessarily what you do, it's how you do it, people. You can say things such as, you can just ask certain questions to see how they feel and how they answer it. Because we always talk about this on the Mental Health Minute. People tell you exactly who they are. So you can ask people how they handle certain things. You can have conversations and have different topics about certain things to see how they may handle it or how they think about that, because people will tell you who they are. So I think in the beginning, the first date, second date, third date, it's just a conversation, because if you start liking that person and really getting into them, and you tell maybe on the fifth, fourth date, and like Dr. T said, they can't handle it, you end up being ghost when you should have just said it in the first place. Or it could be vice versa. They tell you and you're like, damn, I really like them, but how am I handle this? So I think in the beginning, and I think it should be on the table. Let's break that stigma and let's not run from it. And what you learned today on Mental Health Minute, you can handle it this way. Everyone has mental health. Not everybody got a mental illness. So having that conversation, you can say, well, let's talk about mental health and see where their head is. And you can actually, y'all can have that one, use that and say on your date over a cup of coffee, you do know everybody has mental health. So let's talk about that just to see. It could be an open conversation like that. That can go. What you think? That could go like that on the first. Just something
Yeah,
simple.
I agree. I think it can go. I think it can go like that, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to share with that person, but don't come off to the point where it's becoming like it becomes too much
Yes.
or
Yes.
whatever. You don't want to come off to be team too much for these folks when
Exactly.
you're on that date, because you don't want that person to be like, oh well, I don't get it. Like, why, well, why did this happen and why did that happen? you
Exactly.
know
You want to
but
be there.
and one thing I will add with that, when you are dating somebody that may have mental illness, or have something going on, right? Don't expect to be the savior for that person, right? It's not your job. It's
Mhm.
not your job. It's not your job. You know what I mean? To be able to save whatever problems they might be having.
Exactly. Exactly. Dr.
I
T is
see that
right.
happen too
Actually,
much,
she
and it's just
she
like,
started absolutely. Actually, Dr. T then went on to the third question. She is absolutely right. The third
I'm
question
sorry.
is
Look,
no, that she is on it. That she's always on it, people. She is on it. So that is perfect because my third question, and because she's the
mhm,
expert as well, so because she handles and deal with clients with this all the time, as do I. So my third one is,
mhm.
how is it dating someone with mental health issues, and what should we expect? What should we look for? Because you're a professional, you have had clients that have
Yes.
probably brought this matter to you, as I've
Mhm,
had it as well. So my question
mhm.
to you and to the audience as well, because some of you probably know or maybe dating someone with mental health issues, or you may be on the other side and have mental health issues. And so
Right.
my question is, how is it dating someone with mental health issues? Where again, we all have mental health, but I said mental health
Mhm.
issues. And
Right.
what should we do and what should we expect?
Okay, so if you're dating someone with mental health issues, right, the one thing I will say is, it first of all, if y'all talked about it, right, one thing I will say is make sure you're aware of their triggers. Okay. That is something that you can ask them. If sometimes the person that you're dating will volunteer that information to you, sometimes it just comes out as time progresses, because they might not sit out and tell you exactly what this boom, 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 boom. No, that might not happen like that. It's very few individuals that will do that. So, for that being said, you have to sit down and you have to monitor what is going on and be able to take notice, take a mental note or put a note inside your phone so that you know what the triggers are. Okay. With in addition to, after you know, become aware of their triggers, also sit back and be able to have that conversation with them about what does a typical day look like for you when X, Y, and Z is occurring, so that you can have a whole picture painted prior to having that situation occur while you're dating the person, and then being able to find out, okay, what works for you, and what can I do to help you with conquering this, should this happen on a day that you and I are together on a date. I mean, because that'll be the only way you will be able to understand the person that you're dating, and if you decide to continue on with them, you have to have a whole understanding of them so that you can move forward. What is your take on
Absolutely.
that, Dr. Candace?
Yes, absolutely. So, how is it dating someone with mental health issues? This is the Mental Health Minute. I'm going to be very honest with everyone here. It is, it can be very, very difficult, but at the end, it can be a beautiful thing. It can be difficult. I'm going to be honest, especially if you are not familiar with that. It can be difficult if you are not familiar with what's going on with them. Dr. T brought in two things: knowing their triggers. If they don't tell you their triggers, you have to do, like she stated, self monitor, and you will end up learning their trigger, because whatever happens and trigger them, you will put two and two together and say, so I see that is what's bothering them, or that is what ticks it off. So, to my first part of that question, how is it dating someone? It is hard, but it will get easier. It's only hard when you are not familiar with it. You have to familiarize yourself if you choose to. So it's a two-part with that. It's something that you have to want to be able, feel you can do, and something you have to want to do. Don't force yourself into it. Again, it's not your cross to carry. It's not you because what can happen, you can fall in love and you can like or vibe with someone that have a mental health issue, which is a beautiful thing because we all need love, we all deserve love, but you have to watch yourself because two things can happen. It can be a beautiful thing where you are supportive and you work together, or you could become a caregiver. Now, who the hell want to become someone's caregiver involuntarily? You can say, every time I turn around, it's something, and I'm not used to this. So, my things that I have for the people and for the audience to embrace, educate yourself on your partner's illness. Educate yourself. That's the first thing. Do research, go to groups, go to meetings, go to different things that they have. Invite yourself into that so you can educate yourself. The second thing I have is compassion. If you know you ain't a compassionate person, then this may not be the person for you because you're going to do more harm than good. The third thing I have is to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself because when you find yourself in love or liking or vibing with someone that has some type of illness, we tend to pour more into them than we do ourselves. So take care of yourself first. Take care of you in order for you to show up and really be there for them. You got to take care of you. You can't be pouring into everybody and ain't gave you anything because what's going to happen is resentment is going to sit in and you're going to be looking at them and saying, now I'm sitting over here and I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. I didn't give me anything and I gave them my all. And then you start resenting that person. You agree with that, Dr. T? You like, what the hell? Like they always
I
have a
totally agree.
now
Hmm.
there's something going on. And what about me? So resentment
Hmm.
will kick in. So it can be a difficult thing if you're not familiar, but it can be a beautiful thing if you apply self-care, educate yourself, use compassion, and take your own mental breaks. You agree?
I agree. I agree because mental breaks is everything. Let me tell y'all all about it.
Yes,
So we have to take time out for ourselves. Mental breaks along with our self care.
exactly. Exactly.
Doesn't get no
Absolutely.
better than that. Doesn't
Yes.
get no better than that.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask, like Dr. T stated, mental breaks is everything. How do you incorporate mental breaks in dating without hurting your partner? How do you do that, Dr. T? How would you do that? What that look like? What you say to your partner?
Just I need a little bit of time to myself. Just being able to, if you're comfortable with the person that you're with, you should be okay to say that I need a few minutes, I need a few days to myself, or I practice my self care or something. But when you're, with somebody who has mental health issues, they will tell you, that that's something that they do. They take time for them, that they need mental health breaks, that they, may be in their own zone. Yeah, that's not for you to feel some type of way because they're in a zone, okay? But that's for you to be like, okay, well, if they're going through this, let me start focusing on me and what I need to do to better me, and whether it's going out to dinner by yourself or hanging out with friends or having a spa day. Granted, I do know we are still living in these times that we're living in, but you still can find those times where you can enjoy yourself, and spend time doing self-care versus focusing on, is he or she okay, and getting yourself riled up into a whole form of upsetment because they're not where they need to be.
Absolutely. That gears me into our next question for Dr. T and to the audience as well. Let's talk about episodic. Let's talk about episodes. When
Mhm,
you are dating someone and they are episodic or they have an
mhm,
episode, whether it's bipolar one, bipolar two, or they're schizophrenic
mhm.
and they haven't taken their meds, so they're
Right.
hearing audio or visual hallucinations, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
How do
Right.
someone that's really not familiar and they're dating someone, how
Hmm.
do they handle that? Because once the person, the one that's have the mental illness,
Hmm.
take their meds and come down off of the episode, because the longest, especially with bipolar, it lasts maybe 2 3 days. After they come down
Hmm.
from the episode, they're apologetic and they're like, and they're back to quote unquote, I don't like to use this word, normal, because what is
Hmm.
normal? But for the sake of this
Right.
conversation, I
No such
will.
thing.
Exactly. It's right.
Hmm.
When they come down and they're doing fine,
Hmm.
how do you transition with that? How would the people transition? The one that they're dating, what would that look like for them? How would they transition, Dr. T? Do they, because some would get scared, some
Hmm.
would break up with them, some it's like, what the hell? What is this?
Hmm. Right.
How do you handle that?
So, what I've told clients who've had that type of situation that happened to them is I asked them, number one, what were your feelings during that moment when all of that was happening? Do you feel like that was something that you want to continue on in a relationship with? Right. Um, when it does come down, are you able to handle yourself in this situation? And so one of the things that I suggested was basically gauge your own feelings, gauge how you were feeling through that, so that you know whether this is something that you can handle. Now if the person comes down and y'all are able to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation, then that's a whole nother situation, because at that point this may be something that you can invest in, because the person does understand that, okay, I have a situation, and I think you and I need to, I really appreciate you and I really want you in my life, so therefore I'm willing to work on this so you and I could be together. And at that point, if y'all are able to process it, then yeah, because at the end of the day, in any relationship, communication is key.
Yes, I love it. Dr.
Mhm.
T hit it right on the nose. She's an amazing therapist, because so many therapists would not say what she just said. And I love my sister for that. She said, embrace your feelings. Absolutely. Absolutely. How you felt. And I totally agree with her. So I'm going to piggyback and add my little twist. Y'all know what I'm about to do. I agree with Dr. T when she said, when you are dating someone and they are episodic and they have an episode and they come down, embrace how you feel first. I love that, because it's up to you. It's not your responsibility to pour all yours into them and leave you. In order for you to be good and or exceptional to someone else, you got to take care of you. So find out where you are. Find out what's going on with you and how you may could handle the situation. If you feel you can handle it and you sit down and you have that heart to heart, good open conversation with your partner, create a plan. That's my twist on it. Say, okay, babe, to he or she, say, okay, babe, I see that this goes on when you are off the meds or need an adjustment or a trigger has happened, whatever has happened. Can we create a plan so I won't be taken aback next time or be like, oh, what the hell happened? We throwing people off now. So you have to, so create a plan. I think you create a beautiful plan so when they are episodic next time or any type of episode happen, you are not thrown off your game or blindsided. Y'all created a plan. Whether you sit them down, whether you sit them in the shower, run cold water, maybe you get the meds, maybe you just whatever it may be. And you say, babe, I'm here, and you go into action and there's a plan. Take them, whether you in a environment where it's a public environment, you take them out of the situation, out of the environment, you create a plan. But first, like Dr. T said, everybody listen, check on you first. How you felt about the situation. I love that. That was phenomenal advice when she said, check on you first, how you feel. Because again, this is something they live with. However, it doesn't define them. It's something they have. It's a disorder or a disease or a disorder that they have, but it doesn't define them. But it's something that they live with. You have a choice. You, the other party that's dating or married to, have a choice to say, is this something I want to do? So I love that. Absolutely. So, Dr. T, what can you leave the audience and myself with with dating or being married to someone with mental health, what is your top three that you would like to leave them with to help incorporate a healthy relationship? Because I believe, and I'm pretty sure
Mhm,
you will agree too,
mhm,
that you can have a healthy relationship
mhm.
with someone with mental illness. Mental illness
Oh
don't stop
yeah.
love. Oh
Hmm.
no, honey, come on now. Mental illness don't stop love. Not at
That's
all.
right.
Not at all. You heard it from the Mental Health Minute. Everyone deserves love. And just
That's right.
because something is tainted or whatever, mental health does not, I mean, mental illness does not stop you from being loved, loving, getting
Mhm.
love, whatever it may be. So, what's your take on it?
So the first thing I would say is you need to have patience. Okay. Regardless whether if it's a situation with someone who has mental health issues or any relationship, you have to have patience. That's number one, because there will be times that things won't happen the way that you need them to happen, but you have to have patience and be able to work through the situations that's going on. Be flexible. Okay, we need you to be flexible, being able to understand right what's going on. I need you to be able to communicate. Okay, being able to sit back and talk to each other about everything that's going on, being able to talk about the situations, even the uncomfortable situations, when it's a situation that you don't think like, oh my God, I'm not going to talk to him about it, or I'm not going to talk to her about it because of X, Y, and Z. No, be able to talk about it, be able to understand what the person, if the person has a mental health diagnosis, mental health issue, be able to understand what they're going through. Okay, and also communicate. Communication is key. I need you to be able to communicate with them, communicate with one another to talk about everything. Keep your expectations realistic. Okay, because sometimes we go out there, we date these people, and it's just like, oh my goodness, we put them on such a high pedestal to the point where when things don't go right and it knocks us off that pedestal, we be looking like, oh no, I am not doing this. So keep your expectations realistic, okay, when you do this. And also, my top one is being able to know that you have to take care of yourself also. Okay, keep yourself balanced. Take care of yourself first. Know that this is a relationship that you want. Don't force it. Okay, because forcing it will not be healthy, for you or your mate. And so that's my tips for dating with mental health.
I love it. Beautiful. My little tips to everyone here. Here's my tips. I'm just going to throw out a couple of few. These are mine. My first one is self care. Dr. T is absolutely right. Apply self care. Because again, I always say, in order for you to be great or trying to help or exceptional to someone else, you got to take care of you first. Don't give when you can't give you, because it's going to turn into as resentment and anxiety. Because now you like, I'm tired as hell and I'm mad because you didn't gave it all away. So self-care. Educate yourself on mental health and mental illness. Educate yourself on whatever your partner is going through, and just educate yourself on it all when it comes to mental health and mental illness. Also, don't look for you in your partner, because you won't be able to find them. Don't look for you in no one else. Those are my tips. I am Dr. Candace Elaine.
Awesome. And I'm Dr. Tyra Gardner. We want to thank you all for joining us today. This was an awesome show. I'm going to put up a few videos from our sponsors, because we got sponsors, y'all. You all
We have
know we got sponsors.
yes.
So I'm going to show y'all a few of our sponsors
This will
before
be an
we
amazing
close.
workshop where I will teach you how to go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. It is time to elevate, honey. Whatever you got going on, we're going to leave that in 2021. So if you would like to elevate and change.
All right. So that was our first sponsor, Dr. Candace Elaine. Improve that mindset. Let me tell y'all,
Come on.
improve that mindset. We got that class going. Our next sponsor. And that was our second sponsor, Chef Corey Hall. His book is called I Found Me. Awesome book that we
Yes.
definitely recommend for all of you. Is a very good read. And for our last sponsor today, and so that was our three sponsors for today: Dr. Candace Elaine, Chef Corey Hall, and the Gossiping Heifers, who are
Yes.
all on YouTube. Make sure you follow all three of our sponsors. This was an awesome episode
Awesome.
today of A Mental Health Minute with Dr. Candace Elaine and Dr. Tyra. We want to thank you all for joining us this last hour. We want y'all to have an awesome, awesome day.
Yes.
Feel
Bye,
free to send
everybody.
us comments. All right. Bye, everyone.